Hi everyone, welcome to Real English.
Where you learn natural English for real life.
I am Paul.
And I am Emily. Let us get started.
Today we are talking to all the tech innovators, the developers, and the automation enthusiasts out there. We are tackling a very specific, incredibly frustrating workplace conversation that happens in almost every modern company.
It is the classic battle of custom-built versus off-the-shelf. Imagine this. You are an engineer, and you have built an elegant automated system yourself. But your company wants to ignore your hard work and pay thousands of dollars for a generic software package that does exactly the same thing.
This happens constantly. I once watched a company spend $50,000 a year on a massive enterprise data tool, completely ignoring the fact that their own engineer had already written a clean, efficient program that scraped the exact same data for free.
And why does that happen? Because the engineer did not know how to advocate for their own work in a language that management understands. When management hears the phrase custom script, they hear risk, maintenance, and potential system crashes. When they hear enterprise software, they hear safety, customer support, and guarantees.
We need to change that perception. If you want to push your own internal tools, you have to sell them. You cannot just talk about the coding language, you have to talk about the business efficiency. Today we are going to teach you exactly how to pitch your own technical solutions to management.
We are going to use the A.I.M framework. A.I.M. It stands for Acknowledge, Illustrate, and Maximize.
Let us break that down. A stands for Acknowledge. When your boss proposes an expensive piece of software, do not immediately attack the idea. Acknowledge the problem they are trying to solve. You say, I understand why we are looking at this vendor. Standardizing our data collection is definitely a top priority. You validate their goal first. Then you move to I, which stands for Illustrate. This is where you introduce your solution not as a fun side project, but as a robust business tool. You illustrate the capability. You do not say, I wrote some code that does this. You say, I have actually developed an in-house automation pipeline that handles this exact workflow. The phrasing there is crucial. An in-house automation pipeline sounds infinitely more professional than some code I wrote. Finally, we move to M, which stands for Maximize. You have to maximize the business value of your solution compared to the paid software.
Exactly. You focus on customization and cost. You say, by keeping this process in-house, we eliminate the subscription overhead and we maintain complete control over the data formatting, which the off-the-shelf software cannot offer us.
Acknowledge, illustrate, maximize. The A.I.M method. If you use this, you turn a defensive argument into a strategic business proposal. But to really win this conversation, we need to upgrade your tech business vocabulary. Let us open up the toolkit with our 5 pocket words for today.
Word number 1 is a hyphenated adjective, off the shelf. This refers to a product, usually software, that is ready-made and available for anyone to buy, as opposed to something custom-made. You might say, the problem with off-the-shelf software is that it forces us to change our workflow to fit their product.
Word number 2 is a noun, overhead. In business, overhead refers to ongoing operational expenses that are not directly tied to creating a product. Software subscriptions are a massive overhead. You can say, developing this internal tool will significantly reduce our monthly software overhead.
Word number 3 is an adjective, agile. In the tech world, being agile means being able to move quickly, adapt to changes, and update systems without a lot of bureaucracy. You say, our internal script is much more agile than the enterprise software we can update the target parameters in 5 minutes.
Word number 4 is a fantastic corporate phrase, vendor lock-in. This happens when a company becomes completely dependent on a single external supplier for a product or service and cannot easily switch to a competitor. You say, if we build the automation ourselves, we completely avoid vendor lock-in and keep ownership of our data.
And word number 5 is a verb, to export. This means to transfer data from one program or format into another. It is a daily task in automation. You do not say, the program puts the words into a file. You say, the system automatically aggregates the text and exports it into a formatted document.
Off-the-shelf, overhead, agile, vendor lock-in, and export. These words are your armor when defending your technical projects. Now, let us step into the Smooth It Out clinic to fix those awkward, overly technical translations.
Let us start with how we introduce the tool. A learner might walk up to their manager and say, I made a Python program on my computer. You should use it instead of buying that app.
That sounds way too casual. We need to elevate the status of the tool. Smooth it out by saying, I have actually engineered an internal automation solution that I believe makes this external purchase unnecessary.
What about explaining what the tool does? Someone might say, my program goes to the website, takes the news, and makes a Word file.
That is a very literal translation. Let us sound like a data architect. You say, the script scrapes the target websites, aggregates the daily news, and automatically exports a clean, formatted Word document.
Automatically exports a clean, formatted Word document. That sounds like magic to a manager. Now, what if the manager says the paid software is safer because it has customer support? A learner might argue, but I can fix it if it breaks. I work here.
You have to address the long-term stability. Smooth it out by saying, because the architecture is kept completely in-house, our response time to any bugs will be immediate, whereas we would be stuck waiting on a vendor support ticket with the paid software.
And finally, talking about the cost. A learner might simply say, my program is free, their program is expensive.
Let us maximize the business value. You say, utilizing our proprietary system completely eliminates the ongoing subscription overhead and provides a much higher return on investment.
Proprietary system. That is the ultimate upgrade. It means a system owned exclusively by the company. It sounds incredibly prestigious. It is time to put all of this to the test. Let us move to the practice conversation.
The scenario is this. I am a technical engineer working for a media company. We need to constantly track international news. Emily is my department director. She has just received a sales pitch from a massive software company that wants to sell us an off-the-shelf news aggregation platform for $10,000 a year.
And I am very tempted to buy it because I want a reliable system. But Paul has already been working on this problem.
That is right. I have developed a highly efficient Python-based automation pipeline. It targets the specific news sites we need, extracts the full text, and exports everything directly into perfectly formatted Word documents for our editors. It works flawlessly. I am going to walk into Emily's office and use the A.I.M framework to convince her to reject the expensive software and adopt my in-house solution.
I will play the role of the budget-conscious but skeptical manager. Listen to how Paul acknowledges my goals, illustrates his solution, and maximizes the value. Here we go. Hi, Paul. Come on in. I was just reviewing the proposal from DataCorp. Their news aggregation platform looks very promising for standardizing our daily research. Have you had a chance to look at their spec sheet?
Hi, Emily. Yes, I did review their proposal this morning. I completely understand why we are looking at them. Standardizing the daily news collection is absolutely critical for the editing team right now.
Exactly. It takes the editors hours to manually gather those articles every morning. DataCorp says their platform can automate the whole thing. It is a $10,000 annual contract, but I think the time saved is worth the overhead.
I agree that the time saved is worth it, but I actually want to propose an alternative that achieves the exact same goal without adding a single dollar to our software overhead. Over the last 2 weeks, I have engineered an in-house automation pipeline that handles this precise workflow.
An in-house pipeline? You mean you built a custom program for this?
Yes, I developed a Python-based script that automatically scrapes our target international news sites every morning. It does not just grab the headlines, it extracts the full body text of the articles and automatically exports them into cleanly formatted Word documents. By the time the editors log in, the files are already sitting on the shared drive.
Exactly. That sounds incredibly convenient. But Paul, my concern with custom scripts is reliability. If DataCorp's software breaks, I have a customer service number to call. If your script breaks while you are on vacation, the entire editing floor stops working.
That is a very fair point regarding stability. However, the issue with an off-the-shelf solution like DataCorp is that we are forced into vendor lock-in. If they change their algorithm or raise their prices, we are trapped. Because my system is proprietary and kept in-house, it is incredibly agile.
What do you mean by agile in this context?
I mean, I have heavily documented the code and shared the maintenance protocols with the rest of the engineering team. It is not just running on my local machine, it is deployed on our internal server. If a target website changes its layout, our team can update the scraping parameters in 10 minutes. With DataCorp, we would have to submit a support ticket and wait days for a patch.
So you are saying the internal team can fully support this without relying on just you?
Exactly. And beyond the support aspect, we have to look at the formatting. DataCorp exports into a generic dashboard that the editors still have to copy and paste from. My solution exports directly into the exact Word document templates our editors already use. We skip a step entirely.
So it is actually more tailored to our specific workflow than the paid software.
Precisely. We get a perfectly customized workflow, zero vendor lock-in, and we completely eliminate a $10,000 annual overhead. I would love to run a live demonstration for you and the lead editor this afternoon so you can see the file generation in real time.
Eliminating a $10,000 overhead is certainly something I want to see. Let us schedule that demonstration for 2 o'clock. If it works as smoothly as you say, we might just pass on the DataCorp contract.
Sounds excellent. I will send you the calendar invite now. Thanks, Emily.
End scene. Paul, that was brilliant. You saved the company $10,000 and made yourself look like an absolute rock star.
It felt great. And the key was that I did not talk like a programmer. I talked like a business strategist. I used the A.I.M framework perfectly. I acknowledged your need to standardize the research. I illustrated my Python script as an automation pipeline, and I maximized the value by focusing on the budget and the customized Word documents.
You handled my objection about reliability so well. When I mentioned customer support, you did not get defensive. You countered it by talking about avoiding vendor lock-in and being agile. That completely shifted my perspective from seeing your script as a risk to seeing the external software as a trap.
That is the power of the right vocabulary. Using terms like overhead,